Hi, I'm Matt Hildebrand, one of the principals here at Don's Appliances, joined by one of our sales associates, James Hayes.
Hi.
James is here at our Cannonsburg location, so if you have any questions, be sure to drop by. He's one of our top people. Also, before I go any further, make sure you go to donsappliances.com for the Hot Buy of the Week. It's going to be a good one. So, James, I know we've touched a little bit on our laundry buying guide, but let's just dive into just maybe a little bit more from a feature standpoint and why one customer may choose a particular type of laundry piece or set versus another.
Sure, 100%. So, obviously, price can always be a factor in that, we touched on top load, front loads, advantages, disadvantages to those. But when you're looking maybe a top load agitator versus non-agitator, different types of agitators, which you're getting, I kind of boil that down for some of my customers, like what's their lifestyle? Like what are they doing there? Some of my guys that are, farmers or work in the oil fields and things like that, and they get exceptionally dirty, they may want one of those old school agitator machines that maybe they're a little tougher on their clothes, but they're going to get some of those tough stains out. A lot of times I will recommend something like a Speed Queen for them. It can use all the water they may want to use and have the more aggressive agitator styles and stuff inside of them to get those types of clothes clean. And then they can also, those things are really designed to go the long run. So, running heavier clothes through there, tougher wash styles and stuff like that, the machine can really handle that.
So a top loader unit, what I always have mentioned, everybody overloads a top loader. Let's face it, nobody likes to do laundry.
Sure.
So the more pieces we can put in, the better, in a lot of people's minds, which that is not the case. You really should leave at least, if you look inside your top loader, you'll see these holes. At least get down 2 rows is what I always recommend.
Sure.
Don't go any higher than that. But also space out the clothes evenly so that the machine doesn't go off balance. But I'm a fan of the agitator. I know it's going to be a little bit more harsh on your clothes.
Sure.
Versus a machine that doesn't have an agitator. But it's a lot more forgiving when you tend to load more than you should.
That's true. Some of these agitator list models, the impeller styles, if you overload them, you have a really good chance that it's going to go off balance storing it, and you'll come down after an hour thinking your laundry's done, and then you'll find that it's flashing a little UE for uneven, and then you really got to reposition it and send it through again. Where the agitator models, that's much less of an issue for you. The clothes tend to stay evenly distributed, and then they, if you overload, they'll tend to wash a little better for you as well.
Yeah, and an agitator unit, I know a lot of customers will go down and say, I've got this brand new machine, there's no agitator in it, there's a problem with it because it's not cleaning my clothes. Cut back on the amount of items in that machine, go ahead and run it through again, and guess what? It's going to do a great job of cleaning.
100%, yeah. My recommendation on impeller models, half to 2/3 full, and kind of stop at that point.
Perfect. And if I'm designing, let's say, a new laundry room, and I want to put cabinets above, or if I want to put a countertop above a machine, what machine would you recommend?
Front load for sure. Especially if you're doing a countertop over it, you can build them in and have a very nice kind of built-in look to it, and that leaves you a room, to kind of fold and do those things on top of the unit. Or if you're doing a row of cabinets, do a front loader with a set of pedestals. I'm 6'5", and a front loader without a set of pedestals is kind of low. It's kind of tough for me to get into. So those pedestals will typically raise the unit about 14, 15 inches. They do make some shorter ones in different brands if you have some height restrictions to still make it a little easier to get in and out of. And then they give you extra storage underneath of it as well.
So if I'm doing a countertop above, if I do a bigger front load set, that counter will end up being taller than a standard height.
Typically, yes.
It'll be right around 40 inches height versus a standard countertop,
which is 34. Yeah.
34 to the underside, 36 to the top.
Yeah.
So we do have machines, though, that will fit under a standard height. So if you want that height to match, let's say, a laundry sink, we do have options that we can give you that nice flush look.
100%. There's a brand that we carry called Miele. If you're not familiar with, they do a ventless style dryer that's runs on something called a heat pump. That's very, very efficient. And the washer and dryer both are 34 tall, 24 wide, and they can slide in underneath of a counter and give you that nice flush look. And then they're phenomenal machines in terms of build quality and just how they wash.
And when you say ventless heat pump, what that means is that there's no vent leading outside. So if you wanted to put these, let's say, in a bathroom remodel installation or a closet installation, they could be stacked. You don't need to run a vent to the outside.
That is correct.
These units are very efficient.
And then they both run on 110 electrical. So a lot of times, if you are doing a remodel, you may not have 220 in a bathroom, because why would you in most cases?
Yeah.
So it makes it a little easier.
Yeah, that would be the Miele, and I know Bosch offers a machine that's a 220 that you can plug the washer into the dryer, and the dryer would then ultimately plug into a 220 outlet. So
That's correct.
There's flexibility.
Yeah, 100%. There's more than just a couple brands that do compact laundry. Becco has a very interesting set now as well. So.
And they do make a vented unit. So let's say you have an old Frigidaire piece, or some of the old units, GE, that may have been vented, old Whirlpool. We do have some compact units that are still available vented.
Sure, 100%. And I said that Becco unit, I want to, I may be misquoting this, but it's around $1,000, which makes it very approachable for compact units.
Yep.
And then they have a vented or ventless option, and they're great machines.
Yeah, and the great part about us here at Don's Appliances is that we offer all of those major brands. We offer the specialty brands, the European brands, but we also service all these brands.
Sure. That's I have a lot of customers, when I start talking to them about brands they're not familiar with, that's their first question they get. It's like, well, if it breaks, who services it? We do.
Yeah, and the great part is if you go to a box store and you're buying a mainline brand, who's going to service that? But if you come to Don's, not only are we going to service mainline brands, we're going to service specialty brands.
That's 100% correct.
If you have any questions, obviously, our website is a great, great tool. DonsAppliances.com.
100%.
But salespeople like you, we've got the best staff of anybody in the tri-state area.
I would like to think so, yeah, 100%. So I feel like when you come into a place like this, you have sales professionals that have been doing this for a long time. I've been in this business for about 15 years now. There's not a lot of things that I run into that I haven't seen before. Compared to a box store, they do great jobs, but they may not know some of the stuff that we know here. So when you come here, our pricing's very competitive. Actually, typically we're the same price, and then you get somebody like me that knows about the product inside and out.
Yeah, and you had said we're professionals. That's exactly it. We're the professionals. We're the appliance experts. Any of our locations, our website, we've got a chat team that's available 7 days a week. Our locations are open 7 days a week. But again, we are the professionals, and thank you for showing us the way here.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.